Now I just got off that, rode that for quite a few hours. Now let me get back on this and see how she feels. Up. So what? My navigator's working today. Interesting, huh? That was sarcasm. Oh, it didn't work! I gotta wait for engine to complete. There, now try it. Huh? Twice! Oh, that's not good. Not good at all. So would I trade this for that right now? Hi guys, Nothing to Prove here. Today is a beautiful day because any day one could be out on two wheels. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. It's time for 6 months. And I want to give you guys my impressions, my first impressions for 6 months. My initial reaction in my first video of this, loved it. And now, those 6 months later, have matured. And now I can look at it from a non-emotional perspective and give you guys an honest opinion. And you know, if you subscribe to my channel and watch my videos, I will tell you the truth. I may candy coat it a little bit, but I will tell you the truth. That's my intent today. I intend to tell you what has gotten worse from the 1250, 3 things, what has gotten better, 10 things, and then would I buy this and would I trade up or not from a 1200 or 1250, and then the overall verdict of this. All right, let's get into this right away. First of all, what has gotten worse, in my humble opinion, guys? Right off the bat, I did a video on this last fall about the engine noise with a decibel reading, and this mechanical noise of this motor has greatly increased, partial and due to the fact that they made the bore diameter of the pistons a little wider and shortened the stroke 3 millimeters and upped the compression ratio. So now whenever you make this a higher performance motor, you're putting more stress on it, and usually you hear that stress, and I'm hearing it on this. I like the 1200 sound the best. That has soul and character. The 1250 still had soul and character, just dropped off a little bit. And now this, I'm struggling to find soul and character when you are sitting on the bike, because now you get it in stereo, the pipe, and the engine noise. And the engine noise has a tendency to dominate when you're at idle here. And that leads me to the second thing that has gotten worse, and that is the character, the soul and emotion of that the 1200 and 1250 Boxers had. It's falling off. It's missing, sorely missing with this machine. And the third thing that has gotten worse from the 1250 to this is this seat comfort, guys. This is the stock seat, heated, but stock, and I can do about 5-6 hours on this, and then I want to get off, period. The 1250, I've done all day rides on that and never wanted or cared to say, oh, my rear end hurts. No, this one is 5-6 hours, I want to get off it. My longest day in the saddle on this was 9 hours. And once I got home, I put the bike in the garage and I didn't even want to look at this thing for 2-3 days. My rear end hurt so much. One thing I do like though is this, the passenger seat, you can adjust it closer or it goes up a little bit and back further away. That is nice. My wife liked that. Also, my wife doesn't like this 1300 seat. She likes the 1250. There will be a video coming out with that, 2 up of her and me comparing both the 1250 and this probably next week. So those are the three things that got worse. Now the first thing on the what got better has to do with the engine. Well, I just criticized it for lack of soul and character and noise. But now the vibration is less than the 1250. Less in the foot pegs, less in the seat, less in the grips. And my wife also agrees with that statement too. So it has gotten smoother, slicker. The quick shifter, oh, that got way, 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 way better. The quick shifter is worth it all by itself with this bike. Now, with that caveat is the transmission. The transmission is no longer behind the Boxer. They kind of moved it up underneath. So instead of behind, it's here. So it's up underneath, but it has moved the whole weight of the bike forward. So the turn-in is actually better with this bike and quicker. The response and the fluidity and being able to go fast in a corner and change that line in a corner while you're in a fast corner. That's difficult on a lot of sport bikes. And yet you can do it with fairly easy, limited skill on this, an adventure bike. That's what this major change from the 1250 to the 1300 is awesome, is you can go faster in a corner. I can ride this. I'll pull away from any 1250. If we're riding fast, I'll pull away from them on this, no problem. So skill, if you take two riders, same skill level, 13 will walk away from the 1250 in twisties. No ifs, ands, or buts about that, guys. Now, another positive here, suspension. This Evo suspension. Oh, if I could praise anything more on this bike besides the quick shifter, that's also two thumbs way up. Now this Evo suspension is much better. Levels better than the 1250 dynamic ESA. Even two up, loaded down. I've loaded this thing down, put it in road mode, and going over railroad tracks. The response and firmness that you feel. And I am getting more feedback, not a lot, but more feedback into the wrists and palms. So if you're going hard into a corner, because you guys know if you ride it like a sport bike, you're trail braking right up to the apex. Great feedback compared to the 1250 or even the 1200. They don't even compare. It's still vague. No, it's not like, if you have two forks. No, it's still not. This is still the telelever, but it's a vast improvement on it, guys. Now, another thing I want to talk to about this engine configuration with the transmission being moved forward. That means the swing arm pivot point has been moved up a little bit. So there's a longer shaft drive and swing arm. So it has moved everything forward. And then you get better traction, better all around performance, whether you're doing off-road, gravel riding, street, better handling, better performance overall. Did I notice that? Yeah, I did. If you guys watched my ride home with the first time I hopped onto this, I was giggles. Oh, like, holy cow, this thing feels like a middleweight. Oh, this is light. Wow. I am impressed. This is easy. Holy crap, this is a middleweight. Oh, and the quick shifter is awesome. And it still does. There are still some middleweight adventure bikes that are heavier than this. It's hilariously funny to me. Now, that also means that it's a longer wheelbase, 4 millimeters. So anytime you make the wheelbase longer, you're going to get more stability, and it's going to have usually slower turn-ins, but no, this is still quicker. That's because they moved the weight forward. That's nice, BMW, liking that. Now, this bike has the automatic suspension lowering on this bike. That's an option. And it does not work, some of the questions, if you put it in enduro mode, then it'll stay up, because then you're going to go off-road. You don't want to reduce your suspension in enduro mode, right? Also, if you get the 20 millimeter higher suspension, you cannot get the suspension lowering package with this. So this is the standard height bike. It's not the 20 millimeter higher sport, I think is what they call it, suspension. Then you can't get the lowering, but this one is. So this seat, while I'm moving, is at 850 mils off the ground. Right now, because I'm stationary, it's 30 millimeters lower. You can see a significant difference here. And so you can see, I'm not even going to sit on this. You can tell I could flat foot this thing all day long at 820. Number 7 on the list that got better, aerodynamics. For me, the rider, this bubble that you're sitting in, vast improvement, especially with this electric windscreen. Now my wife though, she said it's the same as on the 1250. And whether it's a GS or GSA, it didn't matter. Even on the GSA, she was like, it's the same. That's her opinion, and that's all. I'm not going to add or take away from that. That's hers. So aerodynamics, better improvement and quieter, but now there's also more noise coming up through the triple clamp, more engine and gear noise from that transmission and the valve chain too. So it's a kind of a break even, kind of. Now the TFT, did it get better? Yeah, it's got a sports screen on here. Yeah, I know, an adventure bike with the sports screen where it'll do your lean angle, your traction control, and your ABS. Yeah, that's kind of a novelty. Have I used it? Yes, but 99.9% of the time you don't. You just use the normal screen. Number 8, the navigator. You're going to see me laughing. I'm like, yeah, it is better than the Nav 6, yes. There's better communication between the Connected Ride app on your smartphone. I do like that connectivity. Now there are some software bugs, and I posted a video about that. The one day before I was taking off for a 9-hour ride, the night before, it crashed and burned on me. So what do you mean crash? It just locked up. Watch this video. So, but it is better. BMW replaced it, no problem. Swapped it out, took it up to the dealership. Dealership said, hey, what's going on? I don't know. Then they kept it for a few days, then called me and said, come and pick up your new one. BMW wants the one I had back so they can analyze it. And what was the reason where it locked up, they don't know. Well, they didn't answer. And the 10th thing that got better this year, guys, the base price and the options that are included in this base price. Much, much better. Oh, take a look at this list. It's hilarious. How many things that you get from keyless, the cruise, turn signals in the handguards. Now you don't have to get that. You can get the Enduro package and get turn signals on the side if you want, and take the turn signals out of the handguards, which a lot of off-road guys will do that. So that's why they get the Enduro package. So there. But overall, those are the 10 things that's added to this base price, because everybody can say, hey, when I compare the base price of the GS, it's so much more than the base price of all the other things. Yeah, you have to take a look and see where that's coming from and how much more you get for this base price versus the bike you're comparing it to and what's coming in with those things. Okay, now, would I upgrade? Yes. From what? If I had a 1250 GS, I wouldn't upgrade to this. It is just so good, guys. So much better than... see, I'm struggling with the money you're going to lose. So if you've bought a brand new 1250, now if you bought a used one, then it might be worth upgrading. But there's money there, and if I owned a 1250 and I bought it in 18 or in the fall of 2018 or 19, 20 or 21, and I paid new, I wouldn't upgrade. I would keep it. I would not trade for this, guys. That's quite honest with you. Now, the second trade-up option, the 1200, if I had the liquid cooled one, I would go 50-50 there. It depends on how much money you got, how much change that's burning a hole in your pocket here, then I would. But if I didn't have the coin to spare, then I wouldn't. I would keep my liquid cooled 1200. Now, air cooled 1250, yeah, it's worth it. I would say so, no problem. The performance increase in the motor and everything, although I do like the soul and character of the old air cooled 1200, yeah, that's, that just touches me on an emotional level. And all you air-cooled 1200 guys are like, yep, 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 yep. Keep it then. So those are the conditions under which I would upgrade to this 1300. Verdict. Now, here we go. It's a little better at everything. And that's often a hard magic trick to pull off, yet BMW did it with this. Smaller, lighter, a little easier to maneuver around. Even my wife went 2 up. She said to me after we got off the 1250 and then onto this, she goes, oh, I can tell. She was sitting on the back. She goes, oh, I can tell this is easier for you. I'm like, yeah. Part of that was we were moving around in the driveway and she was on the back, and this was lowered. So this was at the 820 millimeter seat height instead of the GSA was at 850. Or was it at 870? Oh, I don't know. No, it was at 850, yeah. So better? Yes. Better at everything? Yes. Moving around in the garage, easier to maneuver. No problems, no worries, no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And is this, here's the big question, is this a big enough change from the 1250 to the 13 to stay ahead of the competition? I think so. Hands down, no question. Yes, this is good enough to stay ahead for the next 4 or 5 years. No problems, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, for those of you who know, this is my machine. I bought this, paid my wife's money with it. That's what I like to say. Just kidding. But yeah, I would buy this again. I would purchase this all over again, even though with some of the bugs and issues. Say bugs and issues, yeah. On the start here, guys, this is one thing I'm saving for last in this verdict, is this start. Sometimes it won't start on the first or even second try. And that's because the system is being overloaded. The battery is giving it too much juice, and the system says, oh, too much, you gotta wait 5 seconds, then try again. So it has to do with the lithium battery. And there is a software fix for that. It was supposed to come actually end of March, beginning of April, and here it is May, and I haven't gotten it yet. In this thing, so maybe I will do that in the next week. And what I'll do is I'll post below in the comments once they do a software update for this machine, and then I will post in the comments for this video and if it's fixed. And also the heated grips, you know, because this has a memory with the heated seat and the heated grips. When it would fail to start on the first try, it would forget the heated grips if I had them on last time I shut it off. So that is a software thing, and that is a little bug that BMW is supposed to have fixed. Some of you guys have sent me emails and comments saying I'm taking it back up to my dealership. They said they have the new software and you're going to get it. I'm waiting for you guys. You guys comment below. Tell me if you have the new software fix for that sometimes first start it won't start failure. Then let me know, and then let's start a chain here of comments and what works and what doesn't. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've earned your subscription. As always, guys, ride safe. That's most important. And number 2, guys, ride like there's nothing to prove. Take care. Cheers.
I definitely liked the seat a lot better than the one on the 1300. I had more room on this one than on that one, and this one also felt somehow a little bit more comfortable than this one.
Okay. Okay.
The quick shifter of the 1250 was very clunky.
Yeah.
I was always going forward whenever it was shifting, whereas the one on the 1300 is so nice and smooth. As a passenger, you don't even feel that it's shifting. So overall, it's a very smooth ride.